I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Once again, with liberty and justice for all. The United States claims to be a country that is for the land of the free and home of the brave. Yet I still feel that we live in a day and age where rights and liberties aren't equally distributed for everyone. As a minority that comes from the low-income areas in the suburbs of Los Angeles, I myself have been witness to many events that would be considered police brutality. And I don't know about you, but just last week there was an incident in Anaheim where an LAPD officer that was off duty shot towards a group of teenagers simply for stepping on his lawn. Though I myself don't identify as a black, I do support the movement because I feel that it could be attributed to almost all people of color. Thus, today I want to talk about the history, the purpose, and the people who support the Black Lives Matter movement. So, when did the Black Lives Matter movement originate? According to the Black Lives Matter webpage, the Black Lives Matter movement started in 2012 after George Zimmerman, pictured to the right, murdered Trayvon Martin and was acquitted for his crime. Trayvon Martin was then posthumously put on trial for his own death. Black Lives Matter started as a hashtag that was trending on Twitter, and the hashtag was a quick call to action and a response to the virulent anti-black racism that permeates our society. The purpose of Black Lives Matter is to work for a world where black lives are no longer systematically and intentionally targeted for demise. Black Lives Matter works for black queers, black trans, black gender, and anyone who can identify as a black. It is a tactic to rebuild the black liberation movement. According to Teaching Black Lives Matter by Radical Teacher, Black Lives Matter organizers have consistently pointed to a number of structural and systemic issues. Examples would consist of schools and prisons, where segregation is still very much alive in schools, where if you look at schools where the majority of the population is black, there are poor resources that are found. And if you look at prison, 2.8 million blacks are currently in prison, higher than any other race. So, Black Lives Matter's purpose is to take this hashtag into the streets as a rallying cry for all black lives to strive for their liberation. Now, since the Black Lives Matter movement started, it has generated a lot of talk, especially in the celebrity world. And thus, today I want to talk about celebrities that have voiced the issues that Black Lives Matter has also been voicing and waving their unending support for the movement, claiming that it's not in the moment, it's an actual movement. I want to start off with Meek Mill, pictured in the top, who in his song, Ice Cream Freestyle, he raps saying that, nobody really speaking on them courtrooms that bodied us, labeled us as hooligans, we trapping and we moving it. Meek Mill is here speaking about the mishandling of information in the Michael Brown's case, where Michael Brown was shot by a Ferguson police officer, and this led to a lot of civil unrest and a lot of protest. Meek Mill is also referencing that blacks get more than 25 years in jail for certain crimes, and yet is arguing that killer cops get to walk free. Meek Mill's conclusion to this was that this is because blacks are viewed as hooligans and lowlives, thus there is a bias in the courtroom. Moving on to Lecrae, who is in the bottom left corner of the slide, Lecrae raps in his song Gangland, delusional calling that system criminal justice, where the rich and the guilty are safer than the poor and the innocent. Why should we listen? Lecrae is questioning the justice system of America, where he has stated that it's failing time after time after time, as seen with the cases of Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, and Sandra Bland. Here Lecrae is questioning if the justice system in America truly is blind. And finally, and perhaps the most famous one, would be Jesse Williams, pictured to the bottom right corner. Jesse Williams, at the BET Awards, dedicated his award to the Black Lives Matter movement. In his acceptance speech, he says, "Freedom is somehow conditional here. You're free, they tell us. But she would still be alive if she hadn't acted so free." This was a reference to Sandra Bland, who was killed, who mysteriously died during a routine traffic violation, and the officer involved was acquitted of his crime. These celebrities go to show you how they use their respective platforms to put into light the issues that Black Lives Matter have also been voicing. Now, I want to talk about Cal Poly. How can Cal Poly claim to be such a diverse campus when the people I described today only make up 1% of the student population. 1%. That statistic alone scares me. And just last month, February, was Black History Month, yet it was not celebrated or as announced on campus, and I can't help to think, but this might be due to the lack of Black people on this campus. But what should Cal Poly do? Well, I looked at Jesse Williams' speech, and he said that people should try, and I'm thinking maybe Cal Poly should try this as well, that they should try to study Black Lives Matter, accept it, and inform about Black Lives Matter. Now, I know that many people don't have an opinion on the situation, but I myself was taught to love, embrace, and to support despite race. And with that, I want to end with Jesse Williams' quote. If you have a critique about our resistance, then you better have an established record critique of our oppression.
Okay, Issei, how was this one for you?
It was very serious, so yeah. I mean, I really enjoyed doing the research for it. Just like,
You did?
yeah, I did, yeah.
Okay, what did you find most interesting or surprising?
I guess surprisingly, it would have to be how most of these cases were handled, like Michael Brown's case, where a lot of information was mishandled by the court, and I just think it's surprising that this would happen. And then I guess the statistics as well as the 2.8 million